I mean, the Epicloud thing at first, I was a little like, you know, I was trying to. I think I was second guessing myself in a way because it's really like catchy. I was thinking, why would I be writing stuff like this? Do I have an ulterior motive for that? Am I trying to fund shit by, writing a bunch of commercial music? And I'm just like, no, I just wanted to write it. It's what came out, and I mean,
you just felt it. You just felt it.
I did, but I mean,
I think it's an interesting subject matter. Like,
so do I.
Yeah,
I think it's a great subject, man.
And it's so under.
Well, that's it. I really wanted to make that record, but I guess there's a part of me that is like insecure about melody because the scene that I've been involved with is just so like macho, right? And it's like, I think macho is fucking taking care of business and fucking moving wood. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not about like pumping your chest and telling everybody like
how awesome you are,
right?
Yeah.
So, but it's the same, a lot of times the same folks are like, what? Fucking, you got a chorus in there. And I'm like, well, that's what I write.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We were just talking about how it's funny how these old for people who make sort of pretty forward-thinking music, that a lot of the heavy metal world, not all of it, like there's plenty of people who aren't like this, and like lots of
100%.
them, but there's still this thread of misogyny and
Well, I think the thing that makes heavy music interesting to me is that if you could utilize the very obvious power of heavy music to say something that's important to you as opposed to reinforcing a stereotype that's so fucking antiquated, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Then I think a couple things will happen, but primarily, hopefully, it'll get past this stigma, which is just, it's incredibly annoying of just like when people say, what type of music do you play? And I say, well, I play heavy music. Like,
those guys. Yeah.
You got your Iron Maiden shirt and all this shit. And I'm like going, well, there's things I can do with this medium, if you want to call it that. There's no way you can do in other music. I guess the thing is, as well, is I'm definitely not on a mission of any sort. Like, I don't care. I really don't. Like, I mean, I the only things that I care about is whether or not, somebody's being a dick to me for no reason, right? Like, I mean, but I don't care what people play.
Yeah.
I don't care if people like what I do. I don't care if people like play something different. I mean, go for it. That's your vision. Like, hit it, right? I mean, just because I don't agree with it. I mean, not even that I don't agree with it. I mean, I've never been part of, a scene that has been popular, right? So it's like my judgment on what's cool or not very obviously doesn't hold a lot of water, right? But at the same time, it's like, for me, it's like, the only thing that sort of like bugs me is while I'm trying to just be free with this creative process, the hang-ups that I sometimes encounter are just so like grade school. I'm just like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, why aren't you?
Speaking of like messages and stuff, like you did that, you did the song with Gojira for their Sea Shepherd EP, and I thought it was really interesting. There's a certain anguish in that of blood and salt that just really touched me, and
awesome. And I don't think you can get that sort of like energy unless you're singing about something that like
means something.
Yeah, totally, right.
And I really love that's sort of subject matter they explore. Like, it's just.
Well, someone says like, what's your main influence? And I mean, other than just like,
what's your main influence? It's a terrible question.
Thank you very much. But it's like, I love nature, right? I think it's awesome. So I mean, it's like when they were talking. I mean, definitely the Sea Shepherd thing is that's not really my world. I'm not like active in terms of those sort of things. A lot of my friends are, but I mean, it's never been a focus for me, right? However, what the point of what Gojira is after, it means a lot to me, right? And I'll back that 1,000 times before like, drugs, sex, and rock and roll. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just like, there's only so much you can say that before people are like, yeah, cool, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right on, dude.
Party on.
Enjoy.
Yeah. What makes a fertile collaboration for you?
A fertile collaboration?
Yeah.
Well, I think it has to be a shared,
idea?
No,
not like that.
Like when I'm talking to people, I know if I can talk to them or if I'm just going to have to be on guard the whole time and like, you know what I mean? And it's like, and there's been a handful of bands that I've met, and actually quite a few of them are here, right?
Yeah.
There's like 3 or 4 bands here that I legitimately feel like I'm friends with, right?
Who are they? Just like no.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's like when you do meet somebody, you're like, oh right, you're not an idiot. You know what I mean? Those are the people I want to like make music with, right? As opposed to just like, you're in a big band, let's fucking make music together, right? That would be great for me, Because
it has to be like an open space and open circuit, doesn't it? Like to make music and.
Yeah, and I think it's just like.
And people put out that
we don't
wall.
get to hang out. Well, plus you don't get to hang out. Everybody lives in different parts of the world, right? So in a way, it's a way you can kind of like spend some time together.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
It's like, I've had friends that I've had, like bass player in my band I've known since I was in grade 6, right? So, since we were kids, we used to go over and hang out together and everything, right? And if I meet somebody in a band that's on the other side of the world, I can't just be like, hey, dude, why don't you come over and we'll like, jam or something, right? So in a way, maybe that's part of it, right? It's like, hey, I got some stupid song here, you know what I mean? You want to yell on it?
Yeah, awesome. Well, I guess I was going to say, what do you want to do next? But we kind of know about that.
I have
Yeah.
no idea. I think the musical ends of it always just kind of do what they're going to do, right? Like, and I think if I'm coming at it from a clear frame of mind, then I'm cool to let it go where it wants to go, right? Like, dubious as that may seem sometimes, to me as well. But I'll just follow that where it wants to go. And in terms of a person, I've got goals as a person for myself. I'm still trying to like calm down a bit. I'm still trying to like learn to stop thinking and stop talking. Those are very difficult things for me to do, right?
Have you ever done much with like mindfulness, and have you read much about that stuff? Because it's interesting as a practice.
Mindfulness in terms of like meditation and things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I try.
It's hard to stop the rotors turning.
The rotors have a lot of momentum still, right?
Yeah.
So I have moments every day where I try and, teach myself to like stop thinking, but, and I'm getting better at it, but I can't say that I know how to do it, right? So it's like, I think that baby steps.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having
Thanks
me.
for bringing your music and
Sweet, yeah.
yeah, it's awesome.
Right on, you too.
Yeah,
Right
party on.
Party on.
This is Soundwave TV.
Yeah.